Do you want me to sit over there?
Yeah, we'll sit right there.
Is Connie coming over here with me? Or do I have to sit by myself?
Where's
So
Connie?
Jessica will sit over here with me?
Yeah, I would love for Connie to sit up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Leadership Academy of Wright Information Night. If we could, real quickly, let's give one more round of applause to our incredible orchestra. They've had a busy few weeks. They just put on this incredible performance called Madrigal just last Thursday, and it was phenomenal. Highly recommend that you partake in Madrigal when you get a chance. I want to go ahead and welcome you all, but I also want to introduce to you a few of our wonderful teachers, students that will be helping us out this evening. If you could wave when you're done. First of all, our orchestra instructor, Miss Liz Gibbs. Best in the business, high school, middle school, I'm telling you. If you're interested in orchestra, this is the place for you. Our language immersion magnet lead, Miss Liz Baez. Our 8th grade assistant principal, Mr. DeAndre Richardson. Our 6th grade social studies instructor, Ms. Indy O'Connell. Our 8th grade English 1 honors teacher, Ms. Connie Jordan. 8th grade student extraordinaire, Vanessa Pickens. And another 8th grade student extraordinaire, Mr. Lucas Casedo. So, due to the size, I'm going to turn this microphone off because I never quite liked them.
And I'm going to talk to you with just my teacher voice, okay? Everybody good? Yeah. Wonderful. When y'all come up, y'all may use the microphone if you choose. So, we are the second oldest magnet within the district for middle school. Created all the way back in 2000, and I'm the last one of the originals. I've stuck around all these years. I just love what I do, and I love the children that we have been privileged to teach and have in the program. We are also the largest of the middle school magnet program, housing 100 at each grade level, 100 6th graders, 100 7th graders, and 100 8th graders, give or take a few, depending on late movements or removals from the program and things of that nature. We are a school within a school. So we have our separate wing within the school, but we still have the benefits of a large school. The magnet programs within the district some of us have a select advisory program, a select elective program. For instance, we have a leadership class for all. Other magnet programs will have a specific elective like we do possibly. But the other elective would be housed within the school. That allows us to have the same allotment of electives as any other middle school student that they would have. And by the way, I'm sorry, I did not notice that he was sitting in an obscure spot. I have my 7th grade assistant principal, Mr. Brian Ashley. We are an honors program, and I'm going to have our teachers speak about that a little bit later on, and our students. So with an honors program, they will be taking honors science, honors social studies, and honors English. I'll explain the math a little bit more in detail momentarily. We also are a little bit different in the fact that we have a focus on leadership. All 6th grade students will take a leadership class with the lead teacher, myself. And we also have a focus on core knowledge. So core knowledge is an extra curriculum that we embed. So we don't not focus on our state standards. We add to it. So this is not just an honors curriculum, it is a little bit deeper. And that's what we try to do. We can go a mile deep rather than just a mile long or a mile wide. We are 13 teachers within the program. Law teachers teach law students. Law students have law teachers. With that being said, I got to tell you, they're dedicated. I got 2 of them that just had extended Tuesday. They've been with students until 5:45 for pickup, and they're still here and agreed to help me out this evening. I got some dedicated students as well, because the majority of that orchestra were law students, and I have my two helpers here. And I got to shout out, I've got a dedicated mother as well that is sitting here, even though her 8th grader is going to be leaving us sadly here in a few months. All right, so what are we? First of all, honors program. We're different in the fact that, like I said, we are not following solely the honors curriculum of the district. We are bringing in core knowledge. And we are very blessed to be able to do that. We aspire. The concept that we use is that knowledge builds upon knowledge. So we had our CFK students come by this afternoon for our extended Tuesday. They got a glimpse of our 8th graders doing a colonial fair. Vanessa will tell you more about that in just a little while. But those students get the glimpse of it. Now they've had a taste. They've had a little bit of knowledge about colonial America. They heard from the blacksmith, and they heard from the musicians, and they heard from Vanessa. What role did you play?
Dairy maid.
Excuse me?
A dairy maid.
A dairy maid. So milking a cow? All right, I got to make sure I got that one right. So we have a dairy maid. They heard from the dairy maid, and now they have that little bit of taste. So when they come and they're doing their curriculum here within law, they're going to have an understanding and hopefully be able to build upon the knowledge that they've gained just from that little interaction this afternoon. All right, core knowledge. To give you an idea of what we do with core knowledge, 6th grade social studies, Miss O'Connell, y'all studied World War II and the Holocaust, correct?
Yes.
That's her unit. 6th grade social studies studies world history, like the entire world and the entire gamut of world history, am I correct?
Yeah.
That's a lot. All right. So she has that on her plate. Imagine studying World War II and the Holocaust when you got to study the entire world history. I think you're on
West African kingdoms, yes.
Okay, so we've done all those civilizations, and now we're on West African kingdoms. And imagine for a moment that you've got to get these World War II and the Holocaust in. Well, it's going to be towards the end of the year, a little bit more of modern history, and so the kids are going to get just a little bit. Well, in order to overcome that, we follow that core knowledge sequence, and during 7th grade, our social studies teacher is going to dive back into World War II and into the Holocaust as it connects to world geography, while our students are reading the Diary of Anne Frank within ELA class. They then, for an extended Tuesday, go to the Anne Frank Center at USC, correct? And then, when they get to 8th grade, they're not done in ELA and English, and Ms. Jordan can talk more about this in a moment. They're going to read Night by Owens Bell. So they get more depth, knowledge, building upon knowledge, building upon knowledge. So when the time they get to 8th grade, high school, they have a really sound foundation in just that one curriculum. Leadership. The leadership class focuses in on the 7 habits of highly effective teams. I'll talk about that more in just a moment with the slides coming up, and we'll hear from the students as well. Our academic components to our students. We have a mandatory maintaining of a C average within the program for their core classes. We also are trying to build global citizens. We want them to be 21st century global citizens and be able to decipher information, because they're going to receive information instantaneously. When I was a kid, I had to wait for the newspaper the next day or the nightly news. Now, I get it on the phone. And not always do I get information on my phone. Sometimes I'm TikToking, or Snapchat, or tweeting. Clearly, y'all know I don't do that very frequently, right? I don't even know. But a lot of them are going to get information from those sources, and we want them to be able to decipher information as knowing whether it is factual information, opinion, or just straight up not true and propaganda or garbage. All right? So we really want to cultivate them as citizens. All right. Our curriculum, and I'm going to have Ms. Jordan come up here in just now. Go ahead and come on up here. She teaches teaches our English 1 honors program. I want her to share with you a little bit about her curriculum and what the English program within the middle school will be about, and I'll talk more about the other subjects.
Okay. Can everyone hear me without using the mic? Good. 8th grade honor students in the law program will be scheduled for English 1, which is 9th grade English. And per district requirements, it is rigorous. And students and parents have a choice the first 10 days of school to stick with taking 9th grade English a year early in 8th grade, or to drop down to 8th grade ELA, and they're still a law student. They're still in the law program. They do all the field trips, all the fun things that we do together, but they have a different English teacher because they are not earning a high school credit for English 1. The rigor of English 1 is so much that students really need to like to read to handle reading 2 books at a time. They're reading one with me in class. Right now, we're reading the Odyssey. Lucas and Vanessa are in my class, and we're reading the Odyssey right now and enjoying it. And they are reading on their own Farewell to Manzanar, which is a nonfiction book, memoir, about the Japanese internment camps after Pearl Harbor and more World War II. Yeah. So all throughout the year, they will take major assessments on literature that is both shared with me, like classics such as the Odyssey, Romeo and Juliet, Lord of the Flies, and then they will be reading on their own independently without any direct teaching novels at home. And so they have a good bit of major assessments tied to literature. It's double what 8th grade ELA is because it's weighted credit and it's high school a year early. Plenty of 8th grade students can choose to take 8th grade ELA and then wait until 9th grade to take English 1. But it's totally the parent's choice. Because we're an honors curriculum in law, they are automatically scheduled for English 1 unless you make the choice the first 10 days of school to see the syllabus and get a feel for the rigor to decide whether to stay with English 1 or to take 8th grade ELA. We had some students make that choice for 8th grade ELA this year. And I understand they're doing quite well with Dr. Robertson, who is a fabulous English teacher. I learned from her. As someone who's done this for over 30 years at the high school level first and then coming to 8th grade, I love it. I love teaching English 1. But one of the things that really we focus on that high school magnets, Spring Valley and Northeast both came and talked to our students in the last 2 weeks, and they, over and over, they use the word research. Would you agree with that? Vanessa, Lucas, you heard them talk about different types of research, the projects that they were doing at the magnet level in 9th through 12th grade. And so that's one of the things we focus on in English 1, not till 8th grade, it's not 6th or 7th, but 8th. And they get a lot of choice in their research. Okay, I'm going to put you guys on the spot a little bit. Tell me, we're presenting right now science. We read the science fiction, famous classic, Flowers for Algernon. And then their research project that followed up on that was to choose a controversial cutting-edge technology and take a pro or con stand on whether that technology should continue to be funded, continue to be researched or not, and to provide reasons and sources in their bibliography. Vanessa, what did you remind me what you did?
I did con hypnosis.
Con hypnosis against being hypnotized for like law enforcement to solve crime. Okay, Lucas, what did you do?
I did augmented reality in schools.
Pro augmented reality in schools. So that was their choice. They got it approved, and I gave them a list of like 13 different options they could choose, and some of them chose one of those, and others went off the list and said, I'm really more interested in this topic. That's what you did, Lucas. So lots of choice, but lots of research. In February, we'll do a full-fledged traditional research paper, annotated bibliography, outline, note cards on a civil rights movement event of their choice, whether it progressed or hindered civil rights in the United States. So we are often interdisciplinary. We tie history and English together, and there is a good bit of work, independent work, like the extra novel that we're reading every month. But there's also presentations. And I think this is the most neglected part of English, is having students get up and present, teach the rest of the class, which is what they're doing right now with their research essay. And they're choosing whether or not to take a stand in their thesis, what kind of stand, and whether the rest of the class agrees or disagrees with their stand. And so immediately they get to see when we move to one side of the room that says agree, the other side of the room says disagree. Immediately they get to see how their peers are persuaded by their public speaking. So there's a good bit, and public speaking is listed as one of the adults' top 3 fears. I know as a Richland 2 graduate myself, I was terrified to get up and speak publicly. And I'll be honest with you, Richland 2 did not prepare me well for that. When I got to college and they told me to get an English degree with a minor in education, I was going to have to take a public speaking class. I hoodwinked my advisor and said, oh, that's an easy class, I'll take it later. I want to take the English classes first. And unfortunately, he lost that. And so I was taking a freshman class as a senior because I was terrified to public speak. I tell my students, it was a weakness I had to overcome and turn into a strength. And it comes with practice. So at least 6 times in English 1, they will have to get up to the clear touch screen and present to their peers a topic that they had some choice in, that they did some research on before they did public speaking. So it's a rigorous class. If your child is a reader and they want to learn, then English 1 is for them. If not, you might want to consider 8th grade ELA instead of English 1. But it is totally different in choice. I would love to have it in my hands.
Right. We do prepare them with public speaking throughout their law careers. So they start that in 6th grade. They'll do some stuff within Ms. O'Connell's class, within Ms. Williams' class, within science they were presenting today. So this is not something that we just throw them into 8th grade. But what we are looking for is for students to come back to us when they're in 9th and 10th grade, and trust me, they do frequently, and tell us, you were right. It is easy now. You prepared us really well. That's what we love to hear, because that's our job, is to get them prepared for that next level. All of our students, as I've mentioned, will be in honors ELA, honors science, and honors social studies. That is an automatic. Math is by placement. Math is we use district criteria, and students that place into the higher math classes will follow that track, unless obviously we have those discussions that you want them to be in the advanced math class. So advanced math means they're on grade level. They study 6th grade math, and then in 7th grade they do 7th grade math, and you'll never guess what they do in 8th grade. Right? Well, in honors math, they're going to do 6th grade math and half of 7th within the 6th grade year. So it's an accelerated math. It's the same unit of study within both grade levels, it's just faster. So what they take a week to study in advance, they're taking a couple of days to study within honors. They then take the remaining part of 7th and then 8th as a 7th grader, and then they qualify for Algebra 1 as an 8th grader. Algebra 1, high school credit course. Our highest achieving math students go into accelerated honors. Accelerated honors does 6th, 7th, and 8th grade standards within the 6th grade year. So, they're like those lemurs in Madagascar. I like to move it, and I like to move it, because they are moving through that curriculum. Those students will then qualify to take Algebra 1 as a 7th grader, and then they will take Geometry 1 Um, oh, there it goes. They'll take Geometry 1 as an 8th grader. And this is when I'm going to introduce Lucas to talk about his pathways, because he has earned, you're earning 4 high school credits this year, aren't you?
Yeah.
Actually, more. He's earning 3 this year. He earned Algebra 1 last year. So he's going to tell you a little bit about his academic journey here as a law student.
Okay, so as soon as you heard when he said that you're taking like the 2 years or in 1 year or 1.5 years in one or all 3, you would be thinking, wow, that's going to be a lot of homework. It's not as much as you may think it's going to be, but it's still homework, of course, because you need homework to be able to know the subject is. I am taking geometry because I'm in the highest, and because it's geometry, it's a lot more homework than it was in 7th grade. It's a lot more accelerated than it was in the other years. So, and English 1, I was thinking I was actually learning in the 8th grade because I didn't know it was going to be English 1 last year. So this year when it came around to go to English 1, I was like, oh yay, another high school credit course. And I was like, it's not going to be that hard, is it? No, it's still accelerated. It's still very hard. First, I was not used to it, and I was not getting as good grades as I would like to. But now I have pumped my grades back up to an 8, which is good. And so far, I have been doing really good in all my classes. The teachers, they're amazing because they help you whenever you need help, and they will help you with the subject, and they'll go one-on-one. So if you need help, just go to the teacher. If you're afraid to ask, there's no way you can get help. So, that's what I have to say.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Lucas, which foreign language are you taking? Spanish. So he gets a Spanish 1 credit this year as well, because he's taken intro to Spanish as a 6th grader, 7th grader. He did well enough, so now he is taking Spanish 1 as an 8th grader as well. So in a sense, this year, he is taking 3 high school credit courses as an 8th grader. And he's a Boy Scout, right? Hey, Lucas, you're a Boy Scout, right? Or Eagle Scout. Working towards Eagle. So that's a lot of work. You're in band, correct? Does all the band stuff, so he'll be doing the competitions with band here, because our band is extraordinary as well. So he's got a lot of extracurriculars that he is doing, and he's still able to manage this workload. What we try to do is, it is a nice workload in 6th grade, then it slowly runs up a little bit more in 7th, and then it's more in 8th, so they're then prepared for the rigors of high school when they get there. That's like I told you, we want them prepared. There is something we're incredibly happy about. We have the highest EOC, Algebra End of Course exam. Every student in South Carolina must take Algebra 1. They must pass the End of Course exam to get their high school degree. Our students, this is actually 2 years ago data. Last year's data, our students, which includes Lucas, those students scored an 87% overall. We had nobody within the program not pass, so we had a 0% fail rate. That was awesome. And then on top of that, we had 46% made an A on the Algebra End of Course exam. Why is that awesome? Well, the district's average, Richland 2's average, which does include the high schools, and remember everybody, was sitting there at 8% A rate, and as you see, a 33% fail rate. So we're really excited. Our math program here, as well as all of our units of study, are exemplary. Core knowledge is a wonderful curriculum. I've already mentioned to you, just to preface this is an embedded portion. It is not our sole curriculum. We still do the state standards, so our SC Ready scores within the program are exemplary as well. This is just added on, but remember that concept. Knowledge built upon knowledge. When they gain that knowledge, they have it, and therefore they're more successful when they're introduced to it again. What we do is we spiral that curriculum to make it make more sense. I mentioned that with the Holocaust and the World War II units, but we make sure that our students are gaining knowledge about our topics at each level. And then we do some crazy things. What better way to study the Renaissance than to be Michelangelo? That's why you see him laying on the floor. They were actually acting as Michelangelo on the floor. The great thing about our new facility, which one day will be done, all right? I gotta go yell at somebody about why don't the lights work in our parking lot? Because obviously there are things that we're still working on. My CFK families that are here know that you're going to be right in the depths of it as well real soon. Everything is dry erasable. So we have our students writing on the windows. Today we're doing an activity in leadership class, a service project. It's called Pink Sabotage. We adopted a family. Within 3 days, law students have raised almost $800 for our adopted family. I just sent an email before this event to say, Miss Colloy, the director of Family Support Family, I need another family. So we are doing that awesome. But all of my students are sitting there writing on the windows, trying to add up how many things you have and how many quarters, and they're making sure and keeping track of all the points and the amount of money that's coming in. So they're really, really invested in it. They love this concept of it. And my CFK principal up there, you're going to love that. But I'm telling you, it's really fun. All right. Leadership class. The 7 habits of highly effective teams focuses in on 7 habits. Being proactive. Most students are reactive. If you ask them something, they respond back in a reactive way. We want them to think about actions before they actually do them. Then we are asking them to seek first to understand, then to be understood. We're asking them to think win-win. We want them to synergize, which means work in groups. We want them to know the concepts of sharpening the saw, that it's not all about academics, or it's not all about your sport, or it's not all about your extracurricular. You have to find some healthy balance in your life. And we intertwine this throughout our units within their classes and also on our Extended Tuesdays, which I'm going to have Vanessa come over and share with you a little bit about Extended Tuesdays, a required portion of the law program.
Yes, Extended Tuesday. So, in my opinion, Extended Tuesday is the highlight of law. You can see these are many Extended Tuesdays that we will go on. 6th, 7th, and 8th will go on different Extended Tuesdays. Recently, the first Extended Tuesday we went on for 8th grade was a ice skating Extended Tuesday. So during that time, we were talking and learning about friction. So Ms. Zumuko, the 8th grade science teacher, wanted us to experience ice skating to show us the friction and how easily we can move across the ice because there was low friction, which allowed us to smoothly move across the ice. Recently, today, as you can see that Mr. Reeves explained earlier, my dress, I was...
You don't wear that every day?
Of course not. But today we had to dress up and explain the jobs that people would work during the colonial era. So my group, we chose to be dairy maids. So we had to make a trifold poster and include the details and the tools needed and the description. And although that may seem like a lot of work, it was really fun. The children from CFK got to come and explore the different trifolds of everyone, and we would ask them questions after, and we would give them candy if they got the question right, and many children, lots of candy given out. But it was really fun making it and being able to work with our designated groups. And in seventh grade, we got to go on an extended Tuesday where we got to see the Biltmore Mansion. So we got to go inside and view all of the jobs that they may have had, all the rooms and acres, and learn about the people that work there. It was a lot of fun and it was a lot of information. And it's just really, it's a great experience to experience because you get to go out, take time out of school, and learn about new things that you may not have learned in other schools. And another thing, not everybody is in this program, but I and some other children are in DLI, which the teacher, Ms. Reeves, introduced her earlier, but Ms. Baez. I've been in this program since elementary school, since kindergarten, and I actually met my best friend in this program, and it's really beneficial to me and others because I've been told many times that being bilingual can help it can help you experience more jobs and get better jobs because you can help people that speak English and both Spanish. And when people find out that I can speak Spanish also, they're really surprised. So, for example, my mom or someone will bring up the fact that I can speak Spanish, and the person will be like, "Oh, well, speak Spanish for me." And I'll be like, "Oh, me llamo Vanessa. Tu nombre es qué?" And they'll be like, "Oh, you can speak Spanish." And I'm like, "Yeah, I've been learning to speak Spanish for a long time now, and people have told me that I can speak really fluent in Spanish, and it's really helped me throughout the years and helped me develop leadership skills as well as law has. So those two programs have been really great since elementary and law in middle school.
I think she is fluent in Spanish. I didn't understand a word. Not my fault. I took Latin in high school. So it really is something. These extended Tuesdays allow us that opportunity to do more with the core knowledge curriculum. We have 15 extended Tuesdays for our 6th and 7th grade. They last until 5:45 in the evening. So this is really 3 extra hours of additional curriculum for 15 hours, so 45 extra hours of curriculum. It allows us to do those field studies and go to places that other middle school students don't get to experience. One of them that they did in 7th grade was they went to Shield Natural History, which is all the way in Gastonia, North Carolina. They come back and they got to experience top golf. Who was the better golfer, you or Lucas? Who was the better ice skater? Yep. Okay. I always say if you think 6th grade they go bowling and it's hilarious. Not a lot of pins to hit. Then they go to top golf and they have to hit a golf ball. Not a lot of golf balls get hit. And those things aren't moving either. And then they go ice skating and you think it can't get worse. Oh well, they fall a lot. There's a lot of bruises on that one. But they learn a lot from it, and it's learning in a different fashion. It is outside of the school walls, and we learn best from the experiences that we have. We will always learn best from those experiences that we have. I would like for Ms. O'Connell to take a few moments to talk about her extended Tuesday that they just had and some of the things that 6th grade does with their extended Tuesday. Sure.
Okay, all right, I would love to use this. All right, y'all, so I teach 6th grade social studies, like Ms. Reese was saying. We actually just got done with an Ancient Civilizations Festival that we had for our extended Tuesday, and we did a lot of really fun things. So we got to eat like an ancient individual. We had some Greek food, we had some Chinese food for ancient China. We had paint like the Greeks, and we had urns, and we painted like the Greeks for our urns. today as well. So we had a really good time with that. Upcoming, we have a few up here, upcoming, medieval times, really excited, really excited. That comes up later on in March, we're heading there in March this year. And Frank Tour, and Frank Center, that we'll head to as well. We also do some college tours. We did Benedict College, which was a really cool experience because some students, they just really don't know that that's just right downtown, really, really close. So really awesome job, and they do a great job in communicating and collaborating on our trips as well. Like Mr. Reed said, bowling. We have a great time bowling. We also really focus our first extended Tuesday is a wall kickoff. Sixth grade, fresh and new. So we do a kickoff to kind of get students used to each other and to mingle and to learn each other's names. We also do study skills. Really, I think that's our second one that we do, which is very important as well because being in sixth grade, huge transition, huge. They go from having one or two teachers to 6 teachers per day. And so that transition is sometimes a bit difficult for sixth grade students. So really trying to hone in on those study skills and making sure that they utilize their study skills in organization and making sure they're all squared away with that as well. Although this isn't part of our study skills, we do offer tutoring, which we stress for our study skills, making sure that students are taking part in the tutoring sessions that we have each week per hour. So I got a little off topic, but and then Camp Gravit is another really nice one that we go to as well. Early on, I think that one's number 3, and so that is in Aiken, South Carolina, and we travel there and we do leadership games, and we do high ropes and low ropes, and really just stressing communication and collaboration and working together and working as a group, being a leader and trying to communicate with everybody. So we have a really good time in sixth grade. We do a lot of fun trips. I'm a little biased, but we do have a really good time.
No, you're not. You're just stating facts. All right? So yes, we really do have a great time. The extended Tuesdays are a valuable experience for our students. Obviously, if we're leaving campus this frequently, there is a cost. Sixth grade came in at $203 this year. We'd like to keep it under 200, but recent inflationary stuff has kind of hit us, so we've gone over that little 200 mark threshold. Seventh grade was 228, and eighth grade was 160, but they only go 10 extended Tuesdays because they're involved in more extracurriculars. It make it a little bit more difficult for them to be available 15 times. We do have extended year trips. Sixth grade goes to Disney. These are optional. The extended year trips are phenomenal. They happen the first week after the school year. So yes, just when you think you're done, you get to go to Disney World. Kids always love that. Right. So what we do, we head out on Monday, that first Monday after the school year, and then we're there until Friday. We're going to extend it over what we've done, and the reason being is we just were shoving everything into 4 days because we're going to every park. It was death by Disney. And we decided that it's best if we go ahead and we have a travel day to begin, and then go and have a nice dinner and get unpacked at the hotel rather than driving down there, going straight to a park, and then unpacking it about 11 p.m. at night. So we've changed that one a little bit. That one comes in at about $1,250, and that includes all meals, accommodations, bus transportation, and the tickets. And we have this really, really incredible. How awesome was that physics thing that they did with us?
So cool. They had a really good time, and they went and they traveled, and they got they don't have the fast passes, but they basically kind of had a fast pass, and they could go and ride the rides and then talk about it. It was really, really cool.
We were VIPs, and trust me, because she was sitting there, and we were the volunteers for the previous year, and it was good. I hate to tell you, we did one of those youth education things, and we were at Epcot, and we were really bored. We didn't do anything, we didn't ride anything, and it was hot. Even one of our docents at Disney passed out. So we had to switch it up. We went with the physics at Hollywood Studios, and I think it was Rock and Roller Coaster and
Tower of Terror.
And Tower of Terror. So they got fast passes without having fast passes to ride the two most popular rides. Two of the more popular rides now, because that Star Wars thing is pretty crazy too. All right, seventh grade is now going to Williamsburg, Virginia. This was an alteration. We were going to DC. DC had gotten really pricey. So I was looking for an alternative, but also something that correlated to our curriculum. Well, in eighth grade, they're studying colonial history. Why not go to colonial America where they're doing an outdoor recreation living museum like Williamsburg while also saving a little bit? That one comes in at $950. And then our end all be all, New York City as an eighth grader, obviously, I don't want to scare you off with that price. It comes in at $2,300, but that is a week in New York City, which is actually pretty nice. For those of you that have been to New York City, you know there is not one thing cheap in that city. All right. So real quick, I usually show this video. I'm going to actually place this onto our website so y'all can see some reflections from former students about their time here. But I'm going to kind of put my two students on the spot real quick, and I'm going to ask ultimately Lucas and Vanessa, whoever wants to start, what ended up making you choose law? Because you did have choices. So what made y'all choose law?
The fact that I knew that law would be preparing me for high school, and I was told that when I got to high school it would be easier to manage because law prepares you for what you're going to experience in high school.
Well, thank you, and you better come back next year and say hello, first and foremost, but then let us know if it did. And how about you, Lucas?
There were a couple of things. One, the school was very close, and as in elementary school, I was also in the magnet program. So I was like, when we're in the magnet program, why not continue with the magnet program? And we also had a friend whose brother was in the magnet program, and he said it was an amazing experience. So there were a lot of things.
And now you have a younger brother in fifth grade?
Yeah.
And where's he going to go? Better be talking good about it. All right. So, if I can give you one thing more before have you open up to questions. Number one, the online application. It is open. Many of you probably have already registered. There's two steps to the application. One is the registration process. If you are part of a magnet program in elementary, you technically are already registered. But if you're me, you've already forgotten that password. So that might be a little bit, you might have to look that up. But if not, you have to register your student first. Okay? That gives all the information. Please make sure that that email address is correct because we will be corresponding with you via email. The next thing that you have to do then on the application is to actually apply for the magnet. One of the things that I do for my eighth graders, I see if they've registered, I can look through the search, and then I make sure that they have finished and applied for the magnets they want. Because if they don't go in there and apply, you've got a nice registration and nobody's going to contact you because you didn't pick a magnet program. So you've got to pick a magnet program that you wish to apply for, and you can choose up to 3 magnets. 3 middle school magnets, and that includes expanded choice schools. So for instance, if you were to choose that you wanted to also possibly attend Longleaf Middle, and you put Longleaf Middle as an expanded choice, that counts as one of your 3 choices. So then you'd only choose the 3 magnets. Alright? There are a few magnet programs. We are a selection magnet. Many of the other magnets are selection. All of the school within a school magnets are going to be selection. And then there are lotteries. That's going to be your expanded choice, and also the magnets that are whole school. That would be MedPro at Kelly Mill, and that would also be Fame at Pitt. So just to keep those in mind as you make your application choices. Interview day is January 20th at Spring Valley. Everybody interviews one day. If there's a conflict, you contact me. Even if you decide the law is not the place for you, you can contact me. I will help you out. Promise you on that. Because we want to make sure that everybody gets through this process. With no interview, you're out of the process. So we have to make sure that everybody gets that done. On the interview day, you bring an artifact because that's how we will talk. We'll talk about your artifact, get to know something about you. We always want the students to bring something that is meaningful to them, representative of them, and something about their goals and interests. They do a writing sample that day. In fact, when they get to Spring Valley, we're going to give them all these stickers. They're going to be taken from you. They're going to be put into a writing room, and they're going to be given 6 different prompts. They get to choose one, and they get to write for 30 minutes. Take 30 minutes, some don't, but they get 30 minutes of time. After that, they go to the next room, which will be the team activity, where they are randomly paired up with other magnet student applicants, and they are going to do a team activity, and they are judged on their ability to work with others. And then they finally come into the interview room. And what we do is we place teachers from the magnet program. So Miss O'Connell and Miss Jordan would be in an interview room, and they are typically going to be placed with a magnet teacher from one of the other magnets that oftentimes we have other students apply for or apply for. So maybe there'll be a teacher with Miss O'Connell from TLC, or 2 academies, or LAM, or Leadership at Muller, and so forth. So we try to get them into the interview rooms with the teachers from the magnets they apply for. All right? Academic discipline records are used and reviewed. We have teacher recommendations and grades. Everything is scored. And then from those scores, you have a ranking system. All my hundreds, they would be number 1 ranked. And then 99s and so on and so forth. It continues on down there, and we just select as we go down that list. So we try to take as much of the subject to be honest. We want to give everybody that fair shake of, I really don't know you, so I'm basing it off of this score system. All right. December 15th at 5 p.m. It closes at 5:01. We're out of line. I can't help you at that point in time. We have to beg, borrow, and steal to get an application in after that point, which means you gotta wait until choice 2. All right, so make sure you get your application in. Remember, you can always change who you would like to rank. 1, 2, 3. You can always go back in. What you can't do is complete it after the 15th at 5 p.m. All right, already talked about it. Ranking is vital. All right, just remember, I told you how I ranked them. Scores 100, all those 100s are going to be selected. The 99s are going to be selected. Well, the same thing would go for all of the other magnet programs. So if you make a mistake with the ranking system and your child is up there scoring high, your rank 1 is taking you no matter what. And I preface that to say they are going to accept your child. And then if you made that mistake, they've given you a spot they haven't could have been for somebody else. So it's not like we can do trades. Right? We're not general managers in the NFL. We're not working out deals. I'm not giving 2 for 1 or any of this. We have to go by that ranking. So please make sure that you rank them how you would like. All of your kids are probably going to want to go to the school that they think is the most fun, or their friends are going to. I encourage you to sit down.